Greetings, happy Monday. As well, maybe not so happy if you're a Bucks fan. As who, boy, yeah. How about that? Just after all that fiery vitriol from head coach Todd Bowles, Joel Rowan behind the microphone here. The vitriol from Todd Bowles, all the expletives, everything being dropped, all the F bombs, S bombs, and everything. And we get that result 23 Carolina, 20 Tampa Bay. Biggest question I think takeaway from the game is what about all the conservative play calling? Definitely the number one criticism of head coach Todd Bowles. Yeah, a little bit less fiery, this week. It wasn't, can't put everything on the defense. Could have used an extra stop or two there. You could have, but why all the running? I think that's the biggest question asked by most Buck fans today. Why all the running, brah? So it felt like a gut punch. It did, but here's the whole thing. It ain't over till it's over. If what happens next week, I think happens, I think Bucks have a decent shot winning. We saw what the Dolphins looked like with their earworms. Yeah, but it wasn't good. I'll let you in the secret. It wasn't good. Dolphins looked like they were keeping pace until all of a sudden, holy crap, the Bengals just absolutely freaking stumped them. Happy Burrow is back. Just passing it everywhere, handing it everyone. Oh, maybe not George Chase. But yeah, Happy Joe Burrow is back. Dolphins got smacked around. I think they're going to be pissed off, but I still think the Bucks should, and I say should, be able to get past a Dolphins team led by literally somebody we've never heard of before, ever, and didn't exactly look what you would call good at this week. So yeah, and Panthers have the Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold, JSN, that Seahawks defense is going to be locked on getting a secure seed. They're going to be locked on that mission. So I think we could have that Panthers Bucks game at Raymond James Stadium for the final week be one of the very few games, week 18, that actually mean something. That actually mean something. Because you're going to have a whole bunch of games. Who's sitting? Who's starting? Do we start this guy? Are they sitting? What's going on? Ugh. I pity you. If your fantasy league, has a week 18 final, I pity you. I do. Because week 18 is the new week 17. Oh boy. But yeah. Then, of course, the crazy ending for the Detroit Lions. All of a sudden, you thought Amon Ra had the go ahead touchdown to give Detroit the dub. Then you had the referees. Touchdown, however, there is a penalty and there is no possibility for review. And that's how the game ended. That's how it ended. Just, all right, Amon Ra's in there. They got a touchdown. Wait, he's trying to pass it to Goff? What the is going on? And then, whew, yeah, so, yeah, I can just imagine if you had interest, how shall we say, in Detroit winning, or you were a Lions fan, I feel for you. I do. That was brutal. No, also brutal. We're just drawing a definitely a lot of eyeballs. DK Metcalf going after the fan, and you have a whole you have two. There are two sides to this story. You have the fan saying that what he did, all that he did, was say DK's full name at him. And DK saying that they've, meaning himself and the fan, had a history even when DK played in Seattle for the Seahawks, and that in fact what was hurled his way was a uh, word aimed at his mother and a word aimed at him that was a racial slur. So, two complete different sides to the story. The fans saying, all he did was just say his full name at him. And then DK, nah, 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 nah. It was something, it was a slur. So, but the general feeling that if you talk to general people out on the street, I think some people might say that, well, okay, if it was a racial slur, they might be willing to, okay, understand why DK did that. And then you have the whole other school of thought that, yeah, even if it was a racial slur, DK Metcalf should not have a physical interaction like that with a fan, who is a paying customer. So could be a fine. I'm hearing in craziness. It could be a fine. He's not going to get suspended. Maybe he will get suspended because I haven't seen anything break. It's something like that. Something like that. 345 Park. They're talking. They're talking in these smoke filled rooms and even in the non smoke filled rooms. They're talking and they're yakking about one DK Metcalf. Now, and while I agree with the football players should not have physical interactions, especially when it involves punching somebody with a fan. They're customers, and even if it is what some people tend to think a slur, yeah, that I uh, it's just a gray area. You tend to feel for DK, somebody you have a history with, they know how to get at you. And I just feel hard to believe that somebody saying a full name, somebody's full name, quote unquote, at somebody would provoke that response. In fact, it was that somebody's got some issues. I don't think I'd want DK Metcalf mad at me. He's pretty big. He a big dude. You don't like big dudes mad at you. But yeah, it's just it's crazy because if it was a slur, you could understand because that's just something that you don't think. You don't think it's this brain trigger, emotional response. What did you call me? What did you say? Seriously? Boom. But yeah, just crazy situation. It will be interesting to see if he is suspended for a game or if in fact it is just a fine. And just how that game and oh boy, just Detroit Lions. They need a win. They need a win. They need a win desperately. Next week is a must win. I think it's at the Vikings. I do believe, but yeah, at the Vikings. Of course, looking into fantasy, it's just a sort of just a oh yeah, my I think in terms of fantasy football, I'm glad I'm in consolation bracket because it is so cruel that if this were a championship bracket, how everything's set up. Because here I am, both teams in Yahoo lead by a little bit. Lead by a little bit. I'm like, all right, we got to win. And they still have somebody to play on Monday night. Isn't it that every single flipping week? All right, I'm up by a little bit. And they've got somebody to play. Well, okay. Let's check to see. Well, who is it? Hey, it might be a wide receiver three, in which case, hey, you probably would not know. Team number one is going against Christian freaking McCaffrey. That's a loss. Team number two is going against Jonathan Taylor. That's probably, even with Grandpa Rivers, a loss. I am so happy. I am in flippin' consolation because that means you do not have to give a flip. You don't have to give a flip. It's just like, hey, ding dong, my bracket's dead. Ding dong, my playoff bracket's dead. Yeah, so I do not. It's like you're free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. And for the people who do pay attention, it does matter too in the 10-team league. I think Edwin has the real chance of taking it. Apex freaking Predator 10-4 first place, going against Fumble Bunnies 9-5 fourth place. By the way, Fumble might not want to start Jaden Daniels. Pro tip. But yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts versus Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I wonder who won that matchup. Then we had Puka Puka. Yeah, he went freaking nuclear. How about he had himself a week? He had himself a week going on live streams, uh, having to apologize for doing anti-Semitic gestures, all sorts of going off on the refs, live streaming from the locker room when he was being told to not do it by his own teammates. Then he goes off and 46 points. Not what you would call cra- crazy. Actually, you would call it. You would call that a crazy week. You would call it. So Puka, and then on the other side, of course, Zay Flowers. I think Puka won that battle. Then you had Tebow Samuel, Cortland Sutton. Cortland freaking Sutton showing up big time in the loss. Denver lost the home streak for Mile High this year. Done in by the Jaguars, by Duval. Me this week. Well, I don't think Trevor Lawrence could possibly go into Mile High Stadium and have the same good week again. Sorry, no way. That hard shell, hard nosed Denver defense is unbreakable, and I think that they defend. And oh boy, did I whiff on that one! Whiff on that one at the same time, same game area. Slate, late Slate, Detroit. Yeah, I'm picking Detroit. I'm picking Detroit because I think they can get by the Steelers. Because I didn't think the refs would be that crazy and that freaking insane. Hey, but yeah, okay, just but Cortland Sutton in the loss, and Darnell Mooney. I think he lost to Olave. I think Olave won that battle by a little, by a little bit there. Then, of course, Saquon Barkley and Travis Etienne. Saquon Barkley by a little bit, but Travis Etienne having a pretty good day. RJ Harvey, also a good day. Not a good day, that'd be one Javonte Williams. Wah, wah. Then, of course, Kyle Pitts doing it again. Maybe not as big as last week, but still pretty good. Pretty good. Good Atlanta showed up. Good Atlanta showed up. How about that? Boom Shakalaka. Brock Bowers. Good Vegas Raiders showed up in the loss. Yeah, no points for moral victories. Raiders, you still suck. Yeah, we're counting down until Pete Carroll will no longer be there. Because this year has been horrid. Anybody wondering why did Amari Cooper retire, then wanting to play for this team? This year is why. And let's see, we got then of course Derrick Henry. Oh boy, in that Sunday night game as New England clinched, got in the playoffs, did a little celebration. They're happy. And Lamar Jackson, day to day. Do you think it's over from the Ravens? Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh Steelers have to be doing the jig and the dance and a whole bunch of stuff. And Derrick Henry, just a decent fantasy enough day. Decent enough fantasy day. Got in the end zone, had the volume. But the main question, everybody criticizing John Harbaugh. Why did he not play in the last 12 minutes of the game? That question was answered. It had to do with the running back rotation. Wow. Running back rotation? If you have your main tank that you know can help you to win the game, you use the tank. If you have the king, you use the freaking king. Seriously. Tony Pollard. Yeah, I think the king won over Tony Pollard. And then the Bills defense versus the Chiefs defense. Did you ever think you would see Chiefs defense? 2 points. How about Kansas City? Kansas City. Can you believe that? Rolling a 1 2 weeks in a freaking row. And rolling a one, in case you're wondering, well, what does that mean? Is you're playing role playing games, particularly Dungeons and Dragons. 20 is good if you roll 20-sided dice. If you roll a 1, that's the worst possible result because 20 is critical success. 1 is critical you screwed the pooch. Patrick Mahomes rolled the 1 ACL last week, and then Gardner Minshew rolled a 1 ACL this week. Oh, good. Now, Kansas has an announcement. They have an announcement too. That's juicy. Chiefs threatening. You also have the Bears threatening. Everybody's threatening. So over stadiums and all that craziness. But there you go. And of course, the other matchup, I think Edwin's going to win it all. Apex Predator is going to take the league. Then you've got Go and Get It and Man of Steel. Go and Get It 116 and Man of Steel. Zach may have to get by Edwin. 155.70, just going through it quick. Going through it quick like. Let's see who won what. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield arguably won just by a little bit. Just by like 2 points. JSN. Make a big boom. Yeah, I think JSN won that one. Abuka, we knew you well. We remember you the first couple of weeks when you were the phenom, and everybody thought rookie of the year. Here we go. Justin Jefferson finally had a day with at least it was double digit plus. George Pickens back finally after a week or two of we're not sure what. Jalen Coker, Tori McMillan, nice in the win against my Bucks. Yeah, David Montgomery. Oh boy, this is an interesting one. Yeah, David Montgomery versus Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, what were bust lately? Boom shakalaka this week. David Montgomery went not even 2 points. Yikes! So then you had Achan making up for Montgomery, but Chase Brown all of a sudden like, yeah, I got Achan and they've got never mind. Trey McBride and George Kittle, of course, don't play tonight. Xavier Worthy, not very worthy. Of course, then it was KC. KC was ugly. Still can't believe Tennessee beat them 26-19. Insanity. And then, of course, JMO for Detroit, and that whatever that finish was, yeah, kind of an eh. Not entirely a goose egg night, but not exactly a sexy night. How about the Saints doing better than the Texans DST? Texans DST 11, Saints 19. Are you ready for this? Saint. This is the Saint. This isn't the Texans. This is the Saint. 8 sacks, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery. The Saints. The Saints. All right, that's crazy. And see if there's anybody on the bench. Only person on the bench was Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold definitely would have been a little bit, arguably a little bit better than Baker, but not by much. But yeah, not a lot of sexiness on the bench there. But it looks like it's going to be Zach and Edwin, Apex Predator, and Man of Steel going at it for the finals in the 10-team league. And just if I can look ahead and look ahead, I know I say when you have like 50 gajillion tabs, as I know that's pretty much everybody. Okay, I know I had it open. Where can my tab be? Where did I? Maybe I didn't save it. I know I knew I saved it. As yeah, just a very quick look ahead to the week 17 lines. As I know, it's like, okay, nobody gives a crap about my fantasy league. But maybe you had some craziness just like that in your leagues. But here we go with, and these aren't the final spreads for week 17, but these are the look aheads. This from CBS Sports. So starting off, of course, with Cowboys at the Commanders. Yeah, sort of hard to believe the Commanders would be the favorites, but Cowboys just field goal favorites -3 over under 52.5. Once again, these are not the final lines, but these are the guesstimations. Lions 3.5 favorites on the road going to Minnesota. Must win game. After that heartbreak, must win for the Lions. Broncos at Chiefs. Yeah, they're going to be looking for a little retribution after the Jags coming in and smacked them around at Mile High. Broncos -5.5. I think they take their frustrations out on Chiefs. They got to watch out and see if Rasheed Rice is back. But I have no idea who the Chiefs are going to roll up their quarterback. That's going to be interesting. Then you got the Texans at the Chargers. Texans at the Chargers. Yeah, -1.5 favorites for the Texans. Chargers defense stepping up. Texans offense never really sure. Yeah, that's going to be a fun game. That's going to be a fun game. Can Justin Herbert do it again? Yeah, that'll be meaningful because Commanders, Cowboys, Lions definitely meaningful. Broncos and Chiefs, Texans and Chargers, that one's meaningful. Ravens and Packers, definitely meaningful. It's going to probably be Tyler Huntley. Come on down, Packers. Packers, can they get it together after all the craziness against the Bears? Who's going to be at quarterback with Jordan Love? And even Malik Willis, I saw a report, he's sore. So Jordan Love may not be in this week. Malik Willis might be dealing with some stuff. I thought I saw him post Josh Jacobs, the emergency quarterback. What? How would that work for fantasy? That yeah. Steelers at Browns might be just important for seeding. Steelers and for I'm dropping down. Hang on, we'll get back to the Steelers. Ravens, of course, -3. Then Patriots at Jets and Ravens Packers. Definitely meaningful game. Patriots at Jets. Meaningful for the Patriots. Maybe for doing the whole seeding thing. -9.5. Yeah, just end the season. Seahawks at the Panthers. Just a little bit meaningful. Seahawks -7.5 away favorites. Panthers. Gotta believe. I think the Seahawks know. Sam Darnold knows the importance of going after high seeds and staying where they are now and keeping their foot on the gas. I know Panthers are trying to be chasing after the Bucks and trying to get the division, especially with beating the Bucks at home, which they just did, as the Bucks went on the road and just absolutely choked. But yeah, they can Seahawks aren't going to take their foot off the gas. Steelers at the Browns divisional matchup. Steelers on fire after that surprise upset in Detroit. Why yeah? Trying to figure that one out. But yeah, Browns, Miles Garrett still chasing after that sack record. But yeah, you got to think the Steelers are going to be still in it to win it. Steelers -3.5 favorites, Seahawks -7.5. Then you got the Jaguars going into the Colts, who more than likely, I think, are going to lose tonight to the 49ers. Jaguars -5.5 favorites. Yeah, they got to keep doing it. They got to keep doing it. Might be a bit of a letdown game, kind of like the Steelers. But yeah, I think you're leaning Jaguars. Saints -1.5 at the Titans and the nobody gives a bleep bowl. Yeah. Got to go with the Saints. I mean, Cam Ward looking, it might be fun, might be a better game than you think. Cam Ward and the Titans looked competent against the Chiefs yesterday. And I think the Saints are just being too good of a spoiler. Too good of a spoiler. Then a game that doesn't mean absolutely squat. Cardinals at Bengals. Bengals 5.5 favorites. Yeah. Bengals. Gotta pick Bengals. Cardinals are just crap right now. Sorry. They are. I know Michael Harrison saying that he's going to play injured. Michael Wilson just fantasy super sexiness. If you're happy if you got him off the waiver wire. But Bengals just all of a sudden happy Burrow is back. I think they roll. Maybe even get some touchdown to Jamar Chase this week. Another who gives a yet another who gives a crap bowl. Giants and the Raiders. Giants -3 just because the Raiders suck that badly. Yeah, I think Jackson Dart's going to be looking to have a better game when he hopefully will have more than one fantasy point. Yeah, that's how much he scored in fantasy this week. One. Then Eagles at the Bills. Now we're getting into more sexy games here, and I think if this is the Bills' year, Bills -3 home favorites. It's at Orchard Park. This has a feeling of a prime time ish game or a late window game. Yeah, this is the Bills' year. They really are trying to take advantage of that all important window that everybody seems to think that is open for them. They got to show us all here and win against the Eagles. And Eagles, all of a sudden, everybody's thinking that they're resurgent now. It was the Raiders. Let me say that again. Let me knock over the camera and let me say that again. I'm adding impact to my speech, literally. Hey, let me say that again. It was the Raiders without knocking over the camera. But yeah, Then, so Bills, Bears at 49ers. Once again, -3. Yeah, this is a test for the Bears. They're proving themselves. Now, can they get by the Niners? And all of a sudden, these 49ers, for some reason, have just surpassed everything thrown at them, all of the injuries, and just kept on punching. Can the Bears get past the Niners in Santa Clara? Definite test for the Bears here. And final games, Rams at Falcons. I think it's a test for the Rams. You have a healthy Drake London. Kyle Pitts is all of a sudden turned into force. Bijan is always dangerous. Can the Rams get by a healthy Falcons offense, or is it we're kind of resting mode? Because they're resting Devontae Adams. Puka showing I got this by myself when I'm not doing crazy stuff in the outside. I got this stuff on the field. But yeah, so there you go. Not once again final lines, but these are the look ahead lines, the kind of the guesstimations. Once again, Cowboys field goal, Lions 3.5, Broncos 5.5, Texans 1.5, smallest one. Packers -3 field goal. Patriots, one of the largest ones, -9.5. The Jets. Seahawks, second largest one, and I'm scanning. Yep, almost middle one. Seahawks 7.5, Steelers 3.5, Jaguars 5.5, Saints another second 1.5, Bengals 5.5, Giants 3, Bills -3, 49ers -3, and Rams -8.5. It'll be interesting to see how close to these the actual final lines are. But yeah, my pick, of course, I'm going 49ers tonight just because I don't have all of that much faith in Grandpa Rivers. So, anywho, just wanted to hop on and give you a fantasy league update for the 10-team league that I know you don't care that you don't care about. Not there, not there, there, not there, there. So all of a sudden, when you go to have cameras like from this and this, then this. Okay, yeah. So that's the 10-team league that you don't care about. Yeah. Be interesting to see what they do with DK. It'll be interesting. Is it a fine or is it a suspension? But yeah, so counting on down to Monday Night Football. Well, I I don't know how sexy it's going to be. I think Philip Rivers will draw some more eyeballs onto it. But yeah, we'll see. I really don't have a lot of faith that the Colts are going to do, but then I have a lot of faith that Tennessee, they won because it's the National Football League. Because who knows? So anyway, well, hope if you, unlike me, are in the championship brackets, your week went better than mine did fantasy wise. And I will talk at you next time, and I'll say probably going to, since yeah, we might end up just doing a update mañana, just because every time you think the game could be super sexy, it's kind of. Last night was probably, I think last night's matchup was probably sexier than tonight's matchup. So we'll see. But week's almost over. Week is almost done. And I will talk at you next time when I talk at you. And I'm Joel Vert.